At first we thought the dinosaurs had gone extinct because of an asteroid, until one day, while exploring the depths of an ancient emperor's tomb, we uncovered a shocking truth. There, buried beneath the earth, were countless dinosaur skeletons, and the walls were covered in symbols resembling writing. It was yet another prehistoric civilization, like Atlantis, the Maya, and Mu. Before we could recover from the shock, an unknown object appeared in space, following a trajectory that was clearly unnatural, and it reached Earth in 7 years. At first we thought it was a meteor, but as it got very close to Earth, it slowed down, stopped, and revealed its true form. The object sent a signal to Earth. "The Devourers are coming. The Devourers are coming." It was a message from 60,000 years ago from a civilization called Bojiang, whose sole purpose was to warn us about the Devourers. The Devourers are a civilization that feeds on galaxies. They are a giant ship resembling a tire, with a diameter of 50,000 kilometers. When they envelop a planet, they devour it, extracting all its resources and leaving only barren soil. Devourers' civilization grows by consuming planets. This planet ship has wandered the Milky Way for millions of years. The civilization that sent the message was also one of the many consumed by the Devourers. Giant machines drill into the planet's layers, extracting the minerals they need. A century later, even the air is stolen, and the Devourers will arrive in a century. While people were still questioning the authenticity of the message, a Devourer reconnaissance ship arrived. It landed on the Earth Alliance building, and from it descended a giant about 10 meters tall, whom we called Continent. He announced, "Your planet will be devoured by our Devourer empire. As for your lives..." Everyone was in shock, screaming and trying to flee. But I thought, how can he simply devour us? How can he be so sure he can consume us? The distance of billions of light years between us and them, from chemical, physical, and biological perspectives, makes it almost impossible. But the giant did not answer that question. We tried to negotiate, but the negotiations failed. To them, we were like ants, devoid of any emotion. They were as merciless as a butcher's knife, and we were the cattle they raised. The negotiations ended badly, but nothing escapes the logic of self-interest. We secured the opportunity to send 100,000 people to the moon, preserving the seed of humanity. The gravitational pull between the Devourers and Earth would be so strong that it would cause the moon to fall into the Devourers' ring, resulting in a collision that would destroy the Devourer empire. Before devouring Earth, they would need to push the moon away. The condition for preserving humanity's seed was that we ourselves would move the moon, awaiting their arrival. Over the next 50 years, we devoted all our resources but failed to build a super-powerful engine to move the moon. Some suggested constructing a massive sphere to encase Earth, but the technological gap between our civilizations was too vast, and no material could withstand the Devourers' consuming power. Others proposed sending all the elites with embryos of various species to other planets. There was even a madman who suggested installing 10,000 engines on Earth and fleeing with the planet. But I had a grand idea. You're not hearing wrong. We will bury 5 million nuclear bombs on the side of the moon facing Earth. When these bombs are detonated, the lunar surface will be blasted into space, and the reaction force will push the moon forward. If we continue detonating the bombs, the moon will receive a continuous thrust. Moreover, by detonating at different positions, we can control the moon's direction. The Devourers had already passed Pluto and were in near-Earth orbit, ready to begin their plunder. Meanwhile, the operation to move the moon began. The lunar surface was blasted into space, and the acceleration continued for 2.5 months, with over 2 million nuclear bombs detonated. During this time, the Devourers were also making final orbital adjustments. Why haven't your colonists gone to the moon yet? If they don't go soon, there won't be enough time. No, we won't send anyone else. We will be the last humans on the moon. We, the Space Forces, declare war on the Devourer Empire. The giant never imagined that humans would launch a desperate counterattack. The density of nuclear explosions on the moon increased several times, and the moon's acceleration also increased. It began to escape Earth's gravity and flew toward the Devourers. Yes, that was my plan. Not just to move the moon, but to hurl it at the Devourers' ship. The Devourers' civilization was far more advanced than ours, and we stood no chance in a conventional war. So we chose to fight to the death rather than surrender. That was the difference between us and the Bojang. Our only advantage was our culture. This was a plan that lasted a century. We learned from the Bojang that the Devourers had a limit to their acceleration. If they exceeded it, their ship would be torn apart. By detonating the nuclear bombs on the moon's orbital acceleration would exceed the Devourers' limit by 3 times. They couldn't avoid the collision. The Devourers didn't adjust their trajectory immediately, as an early maneuver would allow the moon to adjust as well. True evasion would only be possible at the moment of impact. When the moon was about to collide with the Devourers, they increased their acceleration 4-fold, far beyond what the moon could match. The moon grazed the edge of the Devourers. It seemed humanity had failed. But no. A 50-kilometer crack appeared on the Devourer's surface. The material couldn't withstand the immense acceleration, and the damage outpaced their repair capabilities. As people began to celebrate, the Devourers stopped repairing their ship and continued toward Earth. We had forgotten they had another option: to envelop Earth directly, which would halt their acceleration. The Devourer's ship enveloped Earth, and the cracks on its surface began to shrink. It seemed humanity had failed again. The Space Forces watched in silence. We had done our best. Earth was now a desolate planet, and tectonic activity had ceased. But suddenly, something unexpected happened. The Devourers were no longer moving. The 50-kilometer crack had killed billions of them 200 years ago, and the ship's ecosystem was severely damaged. It took them 50 Earth years to partially repair the ship. Congratulations, humans. The plan was a success. We didn't win, but we didn't lose either. This is your achievement. We've been delayed too long in the solar system. If we don't leave soon, we'll reach the next star system 17,000 years late. That's why our refusal to consume your planet was rushed. It was thanks to the information we obtained from the Bojang about their route. My plan was to send genetically modified humans into space, detonate the moon, and hurl it at the Devourers. They lost too much time, and everyone on Earth was relocated to a depth of 1,500 kilometers below the surface. But then the giant told us another truth. The Devourers and humans are children of the sun. We were also once part of Earth. Our ancestors were the dinosaurs. This explained why the giant came to Earth and decided to devour us without hesitation. The dinosaurs, with their massive bodies, consumed vast ecological resources, so they all boarded a time ship and set off into the stellar sea. Every time they reached a star system with planets, they extracted what they needed. After 60 million years, they became the Devourer Empire. After millions of years of space travel and interstellar wars, the dinosaurs became emotionless beings. To them, what is civilization? Civilization is to devour, expand, and grow. Everything else is secondary.